We will be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is Corey with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It's currently 8 a.m. like normal. It is 80 degrees outside already. It's going to be hot today. We're looking at 101 degrees out. Actually, excuse me, it's 82 degrees out already. So I'm not going to lie. We ran to the gym this morning. We were pouring sweat when we got there, freezing cold when we entered the gym, and then we were even pouring more sweat on the way back. I mean, it's amazing how warm it is already. So be careful out today. Make sure you're staying hydrated, and keep water with you and stay hydrated the entire time you're out, because it's gonna be dangerous out today, especially if you're gonna be working outside. So be safe out there today. Maybe go swimming at the pool whenever you get off work. So with that being said, upcoming local events, there's, like I said, this whole week's pretty much cleared with the 4th of July, so we're not even going to bother with it. So not a lot going on this week. So with that being said, we're going to move on into national news, and we're a little late to the party on this, but I don't know what other people see or what news circles people follow here, but if you hadn't heard, the January 6th protesters were all exonerated. They were being unconstitutionally held.
Yeah, the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional what they were doing to them.
Yes, yeah. Not what the protesters were doing. What the protesters were doing was not unconstitutional. It was constitutional. The police and the weaponization of the DOJ against them is what was unconstitutional.
Yes.
So there's no such. So as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, there is no such thing as an insurrection on January 6th. So Wikipedia and all these places are going to have to start changing the narrative on that. They're going to have to start changing the narrative on what happened that day, because according to the Supreme Court, that's not what it was. That's not what it looked like. So rare W for us. But again, how many years too late now? Some of those people were in jail the entire time.
Yep.
And now, guess what? That's taxpayer money. That's more of our taxpayer money going to them because they were being unconstitutionally held. So, I mean, good that they're going to get compensated for being unlawfully locked up, but now we're going to have to give them several hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue that they could have. Not to mention they can sue for damages.
Yep.
Emotional damage.
And I hope they win.
I do, but like I said, that's more of our tax. Again, this is what happens when you have bad faith actors prosecuting people wrongly. These people are going to be awarded more of our taxpayer dollars. I know that people who are against, who think that these people were insurrectionists, are going to be like, I don't want them getting my. Yeah, they're getting your tax dollars because you were happy that people that you elected were unlawfully prosecuting these people. So it's bad. I mean, I'm glad that they're going to get. I hope they get compensated. I hope they sue for damages. I hope they get every dollar that is owed back to them for being locked up as long as they were unjustly. But at the same time, it's sad that that's where a lot of our taxpayer money is going. But I mean, I guess I'd rather it go to our own citizens than to foreign nations like Ukraine or Israel or Palestine. But those people were wrongfully prosecuted. And the saddest part about all of this is the fact that the government is so corrupt that they're prosecuting their own citizens who are doing nothing really wrong. And now we know they weren't doing anything wrong. Now, you can say the Supreme Court stacked with the Republicans, but I mean, this is the way it's working now. So you're just going to have to deal with it. And it is apparently unconstitutional, the weaponization of the DOJ against these poor people. So, yeah. Speaking of, actually, no, we'll go ahead and let Tim. So just so you know that I'm not making this junk up, we'll we'll pull up Tim Pool, the Timcast, and he'll even confirm what we're talking about here real quick. So Tim Pool is my source, but so is the Supreme Court.
Well, let's talk about J6. So we have this story here from Julie Kelly. This is huge. The Supreme Court has just ruled that the obstruction charges no good. This means the Department of Justice has unlawfully prosecuted
Uh-oh.
350 plus Americans for their participation in January 6th, a flagrant abuse of the law
what's going
to punish
on?
those who protested Biden's election and criminalize political dissent. Now, you know a lot about this, my good friend Lectern guy.
All right, we're gonna have to.
Yeah. So anyway, he just basically just repeated what we just said, but they were reading that article, the article that he has pulled up there. So that's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is that these people were wrongfully prosecuted, and now they're all exonerated. Good for them. Sad that the sad state of affairs that our government is currently in right now. Speaking of people being wrongfully prosecuted,
We got Steve Bannon was just arrested today or the other day for being in contempt of Congress for not turning over evidence that he supposedly had regarding January 6th. And it's a little strange because Merrick Garland, the AG, is literally in contempt of Congress too, and he's not being arrested.
So again, the weaponization of the DOJ. Steve Bannon, they had no problem saying, "Oh yeah, we'll go arrest Steve Bannon." The district attorney was like, "Yeah, we'll absolutely go grab him for you, no problem." But whenever they were like, "Hey, Merrick Garland, turn over this conversation you had with Joe Biden," he was like, "Nope, not going to do it, and I'm not even going to show up to the Congress that day. I'm going to ignore the summons." So they put him in contempt of Congress. They told the exact same DA or prosecutor to, "Hey, get this guy in here and let's make something happen." And they said, we're not going to do that to Merrick Garland. So we've always had a two-tier justice system, but it's so blatant now. So now the Democrats, everyone's writing articles about going how they're going to have the sergeant at arms go to his house and arrest him for being in contempt of Congress. And they're saying that hasn't been used since like the 1940s or the 1920s or something like that. But if they're going to play this two-tier justice system game, the Republicans have to pull out stops and tricks that haven't been used in a long time in order to get some form of justice going here. Because they said that they're not going to prosecute Joe Biden for his stuff because he's so, what would they say? He's too old.
He's too old and not cognate enough to understand what he was doing.
Oh, yeah, now everybody believes that because they saw the debate, and now they're shifting the narrative. It's something that's been blatantly obvious to us on the right-leaning side of this debate for a long time. So it's just ridiculous. And the fact that they're, that this two-tier justice system here is telling one party, yeah, we're coming after you, and telling the other, whenever the other party goes, yeah, we would like you to go after Merrick Garland, they say, kick rocks. We're not going to bother Merrick Garland. He's on our team. It's just disgusting. So, yeah, now Steve Bannon's currently in jail, and Merrick Garland still sits free, and we'll see if the Republicans have the nuts to activate the sergeant at arms to go arrest him and put him in jail. We'll see. Interesting times we live in right now. Very interesting times.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, let's push on to another subject, Chad. Just try to keep it short and light. I know those last two subjects, I mean, that's some pretty heavy stuff we're talking about there. But
Let's see, I've got this PBD thing or this one. Which one do you want to do first?
let's do the PBD one first.
Right.
So this is from the Patrick Bet David podcast, or the PBD podcast. So I really like a lot of his takes. So I was gonna let y'all hear this. This is something we saw on Instagram. So check it out.
Or what word to use. This is done. This is embarrassing. And the most important question every voter has to answer is the following.
Yeah.
Okay? What is the likelihood of that China, Russia, and Iran's watching this right now?
100%.
So let me ask you a question. If they could somehow, some way participate to manipulate our election, which one of those two do you think they would prefer winning the election?
Joe Biden. Not even
Joe Biden.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
It's over.
It's
By
done.
the way, I don't even know what word to use.
Yeah, I mean that's a good take. That's a hot take. The rest of the world would, if you were a world leader and you saw us as an enemy, you would definitely want the old doddering old man in the office, not the hyper focused guy.
Yep, 100%. I said your enemies will strike you when you're at your weakest, and when you've got Democrat in office that's especially as weak and old and frail as Joe Biden, they strike. They're striking while the iron's hot.
Yeah, they're striking whenever the Russians always make these moves when Democrats are in office, man. It's just the way it is. They know that Democrats they're weak on crime, they're weak on external conflict, and they know that they can get away because they're so eager to appease instead of actually standing their ground and saying, "Hey, no." They're not afraid of him, is the point.
Yeah. If I remember right, Russia took Georgia or parts of Georgia at the end of Bush's term, like right as Obama was getting ready to come into office. And then during Obama's actual term, he took Crimea. And then now, said Trump, nothing happened. And then under Biden, we lost, or I shouldn't say we, but the Ukrainians lost part of their territory. The Kiev,
and that's what's so interesting is people are like, Trump's a Russian agent. Trump's a Russian asset. It's like, look, if Trump is a Russian agent and a Russian asset, why didn't Vladimir Putin take all those territories whenever Trump was in office? Yeah. If they were buddy-buddy, like, he would have fist-bumped him and go, hey, good job. Take the rest of Ukraine. Take all of it. We don't care.
Yeah. That's the logic that we have to deal with when fighting with people on the left is like, Trump is Putin's greatest ally. Why didn't he run free reign when Trump was in office? Why didn't he just take everything? It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense that Trump is his ally when he seems to gain territory and military and political advantages when the Democrats are in office.
Yeah, it's silly. Let's go ahead and pull up another one of the next videos.
You got it.
Not that one. That's what we can end on.
So this one is kind of going back to the Pride stuff. Like, this apparently happened like yesterday while we were going over the end of Pride.
Nice.
So if you want me to go ahead and play it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So basically what this is I'll go ahead and read it. Please confirm that full nudity in San Francisco is allowed and legal in front of kids at Pride events because it's not sexual gratification. But the only question you kind of have to ask yourself is, if a person is a flasher and they get off on flashing, women or kids, this is literally like legal flashing. So how do you know it's not? How can you prove sexual gratification?
Yeah. Decency laws have got to come back. Public decency laws, too.
But we'll go ahead and let the interviewer and the police of San Francisco speak for themselves. Oh, where's my volume?
Men, women, transsexual stuff going on, and there's kids, wandering around the event. I'm not sure on San Francisco's laws or California's laws. Is it legal for nudity to be presented in front of kids?
Nudity is legal, yeah, within certain boundaries.
But then, what are the boundaries? Do you know?
Coupled with a lewd act. Yeah, anything coupled with a lewd act or anything being done for sexual gratification that involves other people. Basically.
Okay, but this event wouldn't be considered for sexual gratification.
No, if they're walking around and it's out, that's. Right, that'd be different than if they're masturbating or if they're forcing, like flashing people, right, like trying to get their attention and flashing. But no,
even with kids, it's fine.
I feel like every Pride parade is nothing but
masturbation
flashing
or anything
now.
like that.
Yeah.
One question for you guys. I'm a new.
Just a repeat, but going back to like we had one of our most popular vines or not vines like shorts on YouTube right now is the one that we reposted of that guy from Oregon talking about how that dude just walked up to his 2-year-old
butt naked.
And the cop said the exact same thing. It's not, there was no sexual gratification, so I can't do anything. He's like, who cares?
Why approach a child naked?
Yeah, what kind of self-respecting person approaches a child naked?
It's just wrong. It's just disgusting. And like I said, it just goes to show you how far California and specifically San Francisco and Oregon have fallen.
There's a reason why people are fleeing those states in droves, and this is why. The only people that are still remaining are literally degenerates and people who are either too poor to stay, degenerates and criminals, it seems like.
Yeah. And again, this is all a produced narrative, so go ahead and pull up. There's one more video you could pull up real quick that's related to this. It's about the billionaires who fund this.
I don't have that one pulled up.
It is the one above the if you're in the Owasso Live chat, it's the third video up.
I got to go back to it.
Excuse me, fourth video up, so
Let me pull it back up real quick. Yeah, I do not have that one yanked up yet. Hang on 1 second here.
Good, man. I'll put a heart next to it.
Heart?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. From you. Oh, there it is. Pulling it up right now.
Yep.
All right, you ready?
Yep, ready. Play it.
The radical transgender movement in America are actually Chinese-based billionaires. One of them is Roy Singham. His organization, through the People's Forum, has done a lot. The other one is Joe Tsai. Joe Tsai is the co-founder of Alibaba.
Are either of them just big fans of trans?
They are not trans themselves. There's no evidence. They have family members that are trans. But here, I think, is the kicker, Glenn. Both of them advocate strongly for these rights in the United States. They never bring them up in China. Both of them take pro-CCP positions. To toe the party line, there's no divergence. And the CCP has said they don't even want effeminate characters on television because it's going to demasculate China. So it seems to me quite absurd to say, I love the CCP, I'm all in.
Yeah.
But I'm in favor of these trans rights. I think the more logical explanation is they view this as a form of warfare against the United States. Two of the biggest funders of the radical transgender movement.
You got guys who are Chinese-made billionaires who live here in the United States, but they worked with China exclusively to make their billions, and they're, like I said, they're party men for China. They don't tout transgenderism and LGBTQ rights in China, but they'll come over here and say it.
Yeah. Well, it's like what we talked about with TikToks. Like, what's the difference in TikTok? Here in the United States, it's
girls shaking
their butts and guys doing like pranks or like
makeup
really,
product.
Yeah. And
trans
what's it in China? It's literally great
science
feat
experiments.
Science center. It's kids doing great, people performing great feats and family stuff. Here it's degeneracy. So that literally tells you that China is influencing and manipulating our algorithms in here in the United States, trying to weaken us.
Yeah, try to dumb down our kids. They're trying to dumb down the next generation. Mm-hmm. And again, it's activism at its activism by convenience. A lot of feminists will go, "We need equal rights here in the U.S." It's like, well, they all have equal rights here in the U.S., but like they just want more. They want more. They want more rights than men. Effectively, now they would never go to the Middle East and talk about equal rights in the Middle East because they know what would happen to them there. They would be essayed or brutally beaten or stoned. It's just the way it is. Like, I mean, it's activism by convenience of where you live.
Yep, 100%.
So we'll end on this last little note, this last little comment. And I saw this. I don't know who this guy is, but he does a fantastic Joe Biden impression, and this is how we'll end the show out today. So go ahead and play this, and we'll wrap it up.
You got it.
President, what song are you listening to?
Folks, America, I tell you what, you see Donald Trump, you see Pizza Hut.
No, what song?
Song I'm listening to, I'm listening to my favorite song since I was a little boy, folks. It's called Two Wood Blocks Click Clack.
Two Wood Blocks Click Clack?
I said clickety click clack. We are the blessed clickety guy. I said, take care, America.
That's not a door, Mr. President.
Delaware.
Mr. President, what song are you listening to?
Folks, America, I tell you what,
That's good. I've never seen that.
Yeah, you never watch the stuff I send. You're a turd, man. You gotta watch the stuff. It's good stuff.
I can't watch everything.
I can't do any better than that. I figured that made me laugh. I figured it would make everybody else who's watching the show laugh. So that's about all I've got for you today. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Share this with your family, with your friends. Chat with us in the comments. Send us videos or counter narratives that you would like us to talk about. We are totally open to talking to you and having a public discourse on this. So, again, y'all have a wonderful day. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.